Hey, what's up everybody? Nexel here. Today we're playing Honkai Star Rail, and if it wasn't obvious from the first thing that you saw on this stream, I did pull for the Herta. Got them just about an hour-ish ago after the update finished up. So yeah, I know that the Herta in terms of like meta is probably gonna be about, so if we're going from like DCBA S tier, it's probably gonna sit somewhere in like the A tier range. I have a good feeling about emanators in general, because I feel like emanators scale off of like characters in their same path. So if they keep releasing better erudition characters, then it's very likely that the Herta gets better. Same deal with like Acheron, right? As they release better Nihility characters, Acheron should be getting better. So as long as like the DPS scaling doesn't completely fall off, like the next erudition DPS has like 5 times the multiplier of the Herta, odds are they're going to be good for quite a long time. And on top of that, more than anything else, so if you've been following my channel for a while, because I haven't really posted anything about this game series in a while, I play a lot of Kingdom Hearts. It's one of my favorite, it's my favorite video game series, period. And the minute that I saw the Herta being released, I saw that they fight with like a giant key. So definitely had to pull for the Herta. See, this is the key. It looks like a staff, and you know, by all means, it probably is a staff. But looking at this thing, like, if you've played Kingdom Hearts, this thing looks like the Oblivion. Just backwards. Right? Even that key part of it looks very like the Oblivion. It looks like the Japanese character for Dark. So, yeah, I had to pull for the Herta. I just had to. It's more of a concept thing than a meta decision that I have made. Alright, so with that being said, this is version 3.0, so I'm going to update y'all with the stuff that I think is going to be the most important, because honestly, there's like a super duper long list of updates, and if you really want to read all of them, you can go to notices, and then version 3.0 update, and look at how long this document is. This is an insanely long document. So, before getting started on what I think are the most important things to take away from this version 3.0 update, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who turns in the survey, because I know there are certainly times where I do not turn in the survey, because I'm just like 30,000 credits is not worth my survey time. But shout out to everyone who turns in results for the surveys, because that's how they fix all this stuff, these adjustments and optimizations, right? Like all these like description updates, adjusting like battle logic, gameplay, changing environmental visuals. All this stuff, if I had to guess, is a result of either people who work for the company that play the game and they're just like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense, or the players who actually turned in their survey results and said like, yo, there's something wrong with all this stuff, can we please update it? Like all these bug fixes, look at how many bug fixes there are. I don't even notice that these bugs are happening sometimes. So shout out to everyone who turns in the survey and helps them figure this stuff out, because I know I am definitely guilty of not turning it as often as I should. Alright, so let's go over the big things for 3.0 that I think everyone should know about. So first things first, going into the Traveler's Log, we do have a MEMS gift, which gives you 10 special passes, which is just good off the bat, right? This is just a good gift in general right here. But in order to introduce us to the new way of building relics, they do give us a variable dice, which is used to reassign subsidiary stats upgrades for fully enhanced 5-star relics. So what that means is, if we go to our relics, for example, taking a look at something that's level 15, on the bottom right here, you can see that it's a reroll button instead of like an enhance button. And now instead of like saying it's like maxed out, now you have the ability to reroll as long as you have these variable dice. So what the variable dice will do is it'll take all these numbers that are in green circles and then randomly reassign them to everything that's here. So I haven't tested this myself, but if I'm understanding it correctly, it will take these two here and then randomly reassign 4 upgrades across these 4 different ones. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be better, right? Like in this case, for a damage unit, attack percent and crit damage is perfect. If I use my variable dice here, it might reassign 1 to defense, it might reassign 3 to crit damage, so just keep that in mind that it is truly a dice, and really the only relics that this should be used on are things that are like maxed out for the type of character. So for example, for a DPS, if you've got like a relic that has 5 substat rolls, and like the rolls are for like speed, crit damage, crit rate, attack percent. Beautiful. That, because in that case, it doesn't matter what it lands on, all the stuff is going to be beneficial to you. Whereas in this case, if it rolls like, let's just say twice into static defense and then twice into defense percent, I actually lost a variable dice and made a relic actually worse. So keep that in mind that this variable dice is really going to be a dice, and it is going to roll randomly. And again, it is going to be best used for things that have 4 inherent subsets when you get them. I'm trying to find one right here to show y'all, because I don't really have a lot of good level 15 ones. This is a decent example right here, where it had 4 stats to begin with, and it rolled twice into speed, and then 3 times into crit rate. So this is actually a pretty good relic as is. I don't think I'd want to use the variable dice here, even though there are 5 subset updates, it could potentially roll into worse stuff. So even if, yes, it could roll 5 times into speed, I don't know how likely that is, and it could roll into flat defense, which is really bad. So really keep in mind how this variable dice works, because it is very powerful, but you just got to know when to use it. All right, the next thing that I want to go over is going to be the Nameless Honor updates. So a few things to notice here. So at level 20, they added the Wishful Resin, which is used to manipulate some of your substats, adding 2 subsets of your choice when synthesizing, which is really good. It's super powerful. It's going to help you customize certain relics for certain types of units. So let's say, again, you want like a DPS character. You're going to want crit rate or crit damage, depending on which type of damage there are. Obviously, for break, that is not going to be the case. But in this case, you'll use like crit rate, crit damage as like 2 subsidiary stats that you want on there. And then on top of that, at level 20, you get a self-modeling resin. Now, this is good because, again, the top one, this Nameless Gift, is free to play. You don't have to pay anything in order to get this. If you want this bottom row here, you do have to pay into the Nameless Glory. But the fact that you get a self-modeling resin for free, just by getting to level 20 on here, is really, really good. Next step is going to be at level 30. They do have a new light cone in Sweat Now, Cry Less. Now, this is kind of weird because this is like the Remembrance Battle Pass light cone. So I don't know why Fei Zhao is on it, because Fei Zhao is not a Remembrance unit in any sense of the word. Like, looking at the other ones, I feel like it kind of made sense, right? Like Abundance, we have Lynx in there, Nihility, we have Silver Wolf, and Screwlum there. Well, obviously Screwlum's not a character out yet. For This Is Me, Preservation, we've got March 7th. Return to Darkness, this is one's kind of a weird one because it's not those 2 characters. I think we got Harmony and Destruction, I believe. I forgot what Jui was. And then we've got Harmony with Tingyun. So basically, I don't know why Fei Zhao's on here. This seems like you're actually paying for the artwork than the actual, like, light cone, because the light cone isn't really Remembrance. So really what you're paying for is Fei Zhao art. But this is going to be the new light cone for the Battle Pass, or the Nameless Honor. So increases the wearer's crit rate by 12% when the wearer's Memo Sprite is on the field, increases the damage dealt by the wearer and their Memo Sprite by 24%. So a good light cone, depending on which type of Remembrance units come out. We only have 2 at the moment, and one of them is not even out yet. So maybe this is going to be good. Maybe it'll be great for casteries. Not really sure until we actually see what their kits are. All right, so moving on to the next thing that I think that's important for the Nameless Honor is going to be at level 40. So at level 40, if you pay for the Nameless Glory, you do get a variable dice, and just like we were saying earlier, variable dice, very, very, very powerful stuff, but you really got to make sure you know what you're using it on. Again, it's going to be stuff that has 5 substat rolls, and the loadout is generally really good for the type of unit you're building. So if you're building like a damage-based unit, again, you're looking for basically like speed, attack percent, crit rate, crit damage. If you're building more of a support type unit, you're still going to want speed, so no surprise there. Effect res, maybe effect hit rate based on the unit, maybe HP percent, maybe defense percent. But basically make sure whatever you're doing, again, 5 substat rolls, and all 4 of the substats, no matter what they are really good. Maybe sometimes you'll level out, you have one relic that's got 4 really good substats, but only rolled 4 times. I could see that being good too. You don't really want to stack up on this stuff, because if you can't use it right now, then what good is it to you in the future? Which is a little bit ironic once we get a little bit further down in version 3.0 stuff that I'm talking about. But then again, at level 50, so again, Nameless Gift, free to play, don't have to pay for anything, you do get a wishful resin. So I feel like this is good motivation for free to play players to actually participate in the Nameless Honor, or I'm sorry, the Nameless Gift, and get this at the end at level 50, which is just really good. Again, free to play stuff, we love it. We love being able to let free to play players like try certain mechanics of the game so they know how much they enjoy it. And oddly enough, you get a self-modeling resin for the Nameless Glory, which again is the version that you have to pay for, so kind of swapped when you compare it to level 20, but still really good stuff overall. Alright, the next thing I want to go over is going to be in the shop. So if we go to the shop and then check out the contract shop, so if you are someone who does buy a lot into the game, you have a ton of these Oneric shards. I'm not really sure if that's how you pronounce it. There are some new ones here that are really good. So this is going to be one deal here where you automatically, well, not automatically, you still have to pay for it. You do get 10 of these special passes, and then you can select from the rest of the stuff here. So let's just say I was really focusing on building relics and I already have like a ton of these like regular resins. I could just do these 3 right here, get 6 of these, and that would be my purchase. Or let's say you know exactly what you need. Let's say you do something like this. So you can do combinations here, which I think is actually really, really interesting. And if you're like a super mega whale, you can do this once, and then this, and then this. So it's nice to be able to select rather than just having like a set amount of stuff. So if you are a pay to play person, or if you're like a super mega whale, just know that this is an option for you in terms of resource grabbing. There is going to be a smaller pouch here, which doesn't come with any warps, but you can still select stuff like this, which is really good. 800 is actually a really good number for these like relic shards, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But just know that these 2 exist in the shop. So if you are a pay to play person and you want warps and you want resins and stuff like that, when you think about comparing the warps to the shards that you're spending and the resins, you're really paying an extra like 1,000 shards in order to get these extra 3 bonuses, because the base cost of the warps is going to be 1,600 jades anyways. So just keep that in mind. It's just another resource that people have available to them. Alright, so there is a ton of new stuff for the remembrance unit, with some of them being the light cones. So now we can filter out by remembrance. I did get a few from when I was warping for the Herda. So these are 2 of the remembrance ones. I know there's a long list in the updates, but just keep that in mind. Again, really not too much to say about the remembrance stuff quite yet, because we don't really know what it holds. We know that there's memo sprites involved. We don't know how powerful it is going to be to like power up your memo sprite versus the main character. Are they going to at some point phase out remembrance units and memo sprites, because having like 8 characters out at one time is kind of busted in theory. So it really depends on how they build the remembrance unit. So I don't really have too much to say about the light cones at the moment, but in case you wanted to check them all out, again, under the notices with the version 3.0 update, there's going to be a whole list of it here. So these are the ones, and they don't really have any great descriptions at the moment, but just know that there are new light cones for the remembrance unit. Alright, next thing I want to go over is going to be the Omni Synthesizer. So if you go into the second tab for material synthesis, there are going to be new synthesis in Wishful Resin, which requires the self-modeling resin, and the other Wishful Resin that's going to actually require these relic remains. So again, 800 a good number for this, because that's how many you need in order to craft the Wishful Resin, and you can do 2 of these types of synthesis a month. But if you're using the self-modeling resin, you can do an infinite, or I'm sorry, you can do 3 here. And then if you want to do the variable dice, which again is super powerful, it takes up 3 of the self-modeling resins, but you can do this as many times as you have self-modeling resin. So really powerful stuff here. Again, I think that this is really good for the game because it removes a layer of randomness, which was something I really didn't like about Star Rail to a degree, because you had to have like 6 different relics that all had to have decent substats in order for you to pass certain content. So to be able to remove that level of randomness and then just have like some selectivity with the wishful resin, with the self-modeling resin, and then even if it doesn't turn out super great, you do have the option of variable dice. Now what I will say is that it is kind of weird that I have 38 of these. I haven't used a single one since I started playing the game, and the game is a year old, so just know that having 38 self-modeling resins is not exactly common, and I don't think most people have 38 self-modeling resins because there's only so many ways to get them. So take this as an outlier rather than just what a regular person's account looks like, but just keep that in mind that these are really hard to come by resources, so don't go spending them all willy-nilly unless you have like a plan in place. All right, next thing I want to talk about real quick on this one, Divergent Universe. This is either going away or changing. Looks like the research topic is about to wrap up, so they are giving double points for the rest of version 3.0, I think up until 3.1. So just a quick overview. It goes all the way up to level 100, and there is a ton of stuff that you can get along the way. So we're talking like jades, we're talking travelers guides, credits, there's some jades there, relic remains. So if you haven't collected all this stuff, try and make this a priority, because you've got 41-ish days in order to grab all of this stuff. And again, all this is free resource. All of it is free. So whenever it comes to this game, try and get as much free stuff as possible. Otherwise, you could be spending a lot of money. All right, next thing I want to go over is going to be in the character screen. So 2 big things to point out. Number 1 is the build guide up here, and this basically lets you set a build target, lets you know, hey, this is still the resources you need and all this. So it lets you know the character level. What does it recommend? Light cones. What does it recommend for light cones? Now, this is going to be just like the relic recommendations, where there's got to be some data collected first. But the fact that this exists is going to be incredibly useful to new players who really aren't sure how they want to build their stuff, how to do certain things, because it takes all the data from like people that have played this game for a while or like are really good at the theory crafting, which is one of the difficult parts of this game, and says like, hey, here's all the data that we've collected from all these different people. Basically, it's like a Preordain if they just paid them and then put like their recommendations onto the character build page. So it's really nice because it lets you know kind of the path that you have to go in order to like optimize the character, or if you don't know how to theory craft, like what a good theory crafting looks like in terms of that build guide. The second thing is going to be in the relics page. There is a smart equip, so basically takes the data from that character build guide and says, hey, here is what you generally should be going out for. Here are the relics, here are the like planar ornaments, and basically lets you know like this is what the loadout's going to be, this is what we recommend, and we'll actually even substitute the recommended stats. So speed, attack percent, crit rate, crit damage. So it subs that stuff out for you based on the stuff that you have, right? Like obviously this isn't level 15, but it's still recommending it because of things like substats. All right, and then this isn't even done yet. This is so close. Because I was like, wait a minute, I don't think it rolled a 1 and a 4. So yeah, this is really useful. Again, if you're not really sure how to theory craft, if you're looking for kind of just the lazy way through it, definitely recommend giving this a shot, because again, it gives you a good head start as you start to build your characters, because the game can get very, very complicated with the number of relics, the number of characters, the number of team compositions. So it requires a lot of paying attention, and if you just want to enjoy the game as is and just feed off of the experience of the other players, there's definitely easy ways to do that, which is, again, very, very nice if you're more of a story enjoyer rather than like a theory crafter. All right, moving on into the next thing. There is a free costume. That is right, F-R-E-E. All you gotta do is log in. So if we go to our March 7th here and switch them over to the Path of Preservation. So this is the new costume, which is really cool. So this is the costume I believe March wore during the Penacony, or it was a festival. I forgot exactly when, but they wore this costume once. I think it was, yeah, I think this was in Penacony. But this is the free outfit that you get for March 7th, the preservation unit. You can always change them down here where it says fashion. So in case you like the original, like more adventurous kind of unit, costume, you can always switch back there. Now, what this means, in my opinion, is that we are going to see this tab potentially show up for other characters. Similarly to Genshin Impact, which is another MiHoYo game, they have costumes for their characters, and there's like a limited time period where you can get the costume, and if you don't get it in that time frame, you can pay for it after the period is over with the Oneric shards, which again, you can only get with real money. So just keep that in mind when these costumes do come out. I do recommend trying to get them as soon as possible in order for you to not pay actual money in order to get them. They are just a nice little aesthetic. If you are the type of person that likes like costumes, aesthetics, and stuff like that, definitely make sure you log in and grab the free stuff. All right, next thing is going to be path switching for MC. So if we go to main character here, so we actually now have this nice little swapping unit page, just like we did with March 7th. It was originally for March 7th. Originally here, it was just you would click on the path, but it looks like they added some animations to it to make it look a lot cooler. And it has like a nice little description down here. So really cool stuff, in my opinion. I just like the quality of life there. The next thing I want to go over is going to be basically with the adventuring. So if we go here, you can see in the top right now, Trailblaze power now caps out at 300, which is really, really good because it allows you to do more in a day. Let's say you don't play as much. It allows you to stack more Trailblaze power without it actually going into the reserve Trailblaze power, which feels incredibly bad when you have Trailblaze power that goes into the reserve Trailblaze power, because it takes like 3 times as long to load up a reserve Trailblaze power as opposed to a standard Trailblaze power. So let's actually crank out the math really quickly here, because I actually don't know it off the top of my head. All right, so 300 power divided by 1 power every 6 minutes. So basically in 30 hours, that's how long it takes for the whole thing to reload. So as long as you play the game within 30 hours, you're doing pretty good, as opposed to the previous, I think it was like 240 divided or times every 6 minutes, you'd get 1, and then divided by 60 minutes an hour. So basically 24 hours. But basically what I'm trying to get at here is there is a lot longer of a time frame where you cannot play the game without it having to dip into the reserve Trailblaze power, which again is 33% efficient in comparison to the regular Trailblaze power. So really good stuff there. And if not, just to top it off, you can now store 12 immersifiers instead of the 8 that it was before. Again, just trying to make the most of your Trailblaze power. Like, let's just say you can't play, you know you're about to reach 300, just convert some of it into the immersifier, so that way you can use it for like planar ornament farming. So really good quality of life stuff that came out of version 3.0. Lots of good free stuff. And with that being said, we move on to the actual gameplay of today's stream. So, the goal for me right now is to really quickly farm for Herta, because I want to be using Herta during our stream. So, we are going to head over to Stagnant Shadow. We have to start here. Why? Because someone either very evil or very practical decided to make Herta and Misha have the same ascension material. And I don't know anybody who farmed for Misha. So now we have to go to this super remote Stagnant Shadow that I have never done before and start farming. So this is the team that I plan on using with today's stream, but until we get the Herta leveled up, we are gonna revert back to our regular mob slaying team with the Nihility. Alright, so we're gonna go here, and then we are going to sub out Robin. Or actually, Yeah, we sub out Robin with Sunday. Because the idea here is we just keep spamming Acheron. Alright. Now again, we're farming. And for farming, I just like to hit this button here and let the game do the work for me.
Watch over you.
I'm kind of curious because I heard, or I read somewhere that apparently Sunday wasn't proccing skill, which is super weird because that's like Sunday's big thing is to skill every single turn and then ult on turn 3.
Serenity is before me.
Still waters of oblivion. Again.
Acheron going to work per usual. I really hope that the Herta scales well over time, especially in Pure Fiction. Because I'll be honest, sometimes when I play Pure Fiction, I'm not always doing the best. Sometimes I really fall flat in terms of trying to squeeze out those extra points. But it does make me feel bad for like dot teams, because it's just like Pure Fiction was like dot team's saving grace in terms of still being sort of useful. So now that they're moving on to Remembrance, it's just like dot teams feel very like the forgotten sibling. So I always feel really bad for dot teams because they just get very little love from the devs. Because now with Pure Fiction, it's like, alright, you don't need the dot team. Instead, you can use the free Herta unit 4-star and then pick up this Herta. Alright, the worst part about all this is that we gotta get up to 65 of these. But I do have fuels that I plan on using, because like I don't see the benefit in stacking up fuels when you have stuff to level up. Like there's been very few times where I'm like, let me farm like a ton in one go. Or like saving them up, right? Like this is obviously like me farming in one go. But like there's no point in just hoarding the resource, you know what I'm saying? Alright, we keep going.
Ready for another?
This is kind of bad though, because I still gotta build my fugue.
Everything in this world.
So now I've got like 2 characters I gotta build, and then after this I am going to hopefully start saving. At the current moment, none of the Amphorius characters interest me, but I feel like I will have to pull for a Remembrance unit down the line somewhere. But I do want to save for the Unlimited Bladeworks collaboration, and we're not doing too hot. At the current moment, we do not have anything saved up. So we gotta start saving. Alright, where are we at right now? 25. Alright, so this is apparently another quality of life update that I saw. So if we do this, it should go straight to 23. Let's go. That's perfect because I used to have to just manually adjust the slider to be exactly the amount I need. Because it actually didn't make sense to convert all of your reserve Trailblaze power into regular Trailblaze power. Because if you overcapped on that, that's just wasted efficiency. So the fact that they changed that to be the exact number we need is beautiful. Good old Acheron. Like, Acheron was such a solid investment. I really, like, should have gotten E2 for Acheron if I was, like, made out of pockets.
Ready for another?
But I guess if I was going to invest into Acheron, I should have also invested into Zhao Cho. Alright, so we need to run this 7 more times. Oh my gosh. I'm going to feel really bad about this. Maybe? Maybe I'll feel really bad about it. Maybe? I'd had to use 1 more anyways. Oh my gosh. Not even using 3 was enough. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Totally okay.
Be of your body and mind. Everything in this world.
So yeah, now we're farming trace materials for the Herta and for Fugue. Because I still think Fugue is actually incredibly relevant. I think you could actually use Fugue with the Herta by giving them, like, the ability to still do toughness damage on non-ice weak
Time for
enemies.
good old counterattack.
Like honestly, it's like the ability to
Still
imbue
waters of
weakness damage, which is kind of good. IMO. All right, we keep running it.
Watch over you and guide you on your path.
I wish there was other ways to get stagnant shadow materials that isn't like inefficiently using the stagnant shadow materials that you aren't using, because to my knowledge the only way to get stagnant shadow materials is by using like the resin based quest. It's not like other ones where like you can get trace materials through like quests and side quests and stuff like that, as far as I can call it to memory right away. All right, getting closer, getting closer. 25 more mats and then we're chilling. And then we level up the Herta. We have like the tiers for trace materials. And then we just go from there.
I weep for the departed.
It's like whenever I see my Acheron's damage, I can only imagine how much more insane Acheron would have been if I got them up to
Time for good old
E2.
counterattack.
But again, not made out of pockets.
Watch over you and guide you on your path.
I really should get a remembrance unit if I'm gonna... I already pulled for Sunday, you know what I'm saying?
Everything in this world.
I wonder if there's gonna be a remembrance unit that the memo sprite is basically a shield. Like a team-wide shield. Because I've been thinking about like the memo sprites and how to make them busted and stuff like that. And to have them do like extra things that support the team, right? Like instead of a shield, this memo sprite will take like Fu Xuan. Like this memo sprite will take 100% of the damage that affects the team. That would be insanely cracked, insanely broken.
Time for good old counterattack.
Because at that point it's just like a free hit.
Ready for another?
All right, where are we at? 50. 3 more. Oh my gosh. And then we end up with some extra Trailblaze power after that, which is good, I guess, so we can do something else.
Destined for oblivion.
But yeah, I am excited to use the Herta,
Watch over you and guide you on
the
your
8th
path.
Guardian of Light
Still waters of oblivion.
that fought
I weep for
alongside
the
Sora and Co. to defeat Xehanort.
Shall fall.
This should do it. Hit him with the bleed. Oh my gosh, it wasn't enough. And they got taken down with a measly Pella attack. Alright, cool.
Net markers activated. Time for good old counterattack.
I think Pella is the only 4-star that I still use. Pella and Gallagher, actually. But I think that's it. All other 4-stars have fallen off.
Destined for oblivion. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Let's go. We got the break.
Still waters of oblivion.
Nice. One more. And then we can level up the Herta and call it a day.
Be of your body and mind.
Destined for oblivion.
To doubt farewell. Watch
Sunday's
over
such a good character.
you, guide you on your path.
Ups crit rate, ups crit damage.
I weep
If
for
there's
the
a summon involved, it's even more cracked.
It too shall fall.
But yeah, I should pull for one remembrance unit. I just don't know which one that one is gonna be.
Net markers activated. Time for good old counterattack.
I have a feeling based on what we've seen so far, it might be Castories, but we'll see. We shall see. All right, cool. 65. What does that even mean? Wait a minute, what was that for? No, here. Defeat Stagnant Shadow 400 times. Has anyone gotten this? Defeat Stagnant Shadow 800 times? Who needs to do this 800 times? Crazy. I guess if you're like a... No, is there even enough characters to need to do it that many times? I guess it depends if you also level up all your 4 stars and stuff. Anyways, so let's go back to the Herta. Oh, wait. They're level 1. They're all the way down here. Okay. So in terms of Light Cone, we're running Genius's Repose for the time being. Traces, we gotta level up. Relics, this is the set we are running here. In case y'all wanted to see it really quick, here is the head piece, the hands piece, the body piece, the feet piece, the planar sphere, and the link rope. This is what I'm running for now. I hope to get better ones of Lost and Erudition, but now that we have all these different ways of manually selecting resins and relics and omni synthesizing stuff. For example, if we go here, like, let's just say I wanted to make a busted piece here. All right, so when synthesizing, customize synthesis, crazy. So we can go crit rate, and then let's just say I want crit damage and speed. Now, just keep in mind here that the wishful resin, it does actually require more if you do 2, so 4 versus the 1. But still, honestly, that's such a fair trade. Because, again, customizing and removing that level of, like, RNG is incredibly powerful. Absolutely insanely powerful. So, that is going to be my thought on that. But, for now, go back to the Herta, and let's get to leveling up.
The good stuff is further ahead. Don't stop now. The good stuff is further ahead. Don't stop now. The good stuff is further ahead. Don't stop now. This is it? You don't want anything else?
Alright, so there is our level 80 the Herta, which we will be using for the rest of this stream. Let's go ahead and level up some stuff. Check out the build guide, because we can figure out exactly what traces we want to work on. So increasing skill to level 10 makes sense, because basically you want to be using skill with the Herta as much as possible, with the ultimate being pretty close to second, because the Herta is a DPS unit. So let's take a quick read real quick here. Basic attack, cool. Skill is going to be the important one, because this is what gets enhanced after using the ultimate. So again, damage upon damage upon damage. And then, what's the talent do? Let me double check the talent. When enemy targets enter battle, the Herta inflicts 1 stack of interpretation on them. At the start of each wave, applies 25 stacks to a random enemy target, prioritizing elite and above. When the enhanced skill's primary target has interpretation, the multiplier for damage dealt increases with each stack, granting an increase of 4%/2% on the primary target/other targets, respectively. If 2 or more characters follow the path of erudition on in the team, each stack grants an additional increase of 4% or 2% on the primary target/other targets, respectively. Interpretation can stack up to 42 times. When using the enhanced skill, resets the number back to 1. After the enemy target leaves the field or is defeated by any unit, interpretation will be transferred, prioritizing the transfer to elite level targets and above. Basically, this does more damage, but you're going to be using the skill like all of the time. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to level everything up except for speed, because I kind of want to see how the new relic plays into the Herta. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start leveling stuff up. All right. How do I want to do this? I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. The best way to do this. I'm willing to use these, right? Because again, they don't do me any good just sitting in my inventory like that. I doubt they're going to have to use it for anything else like the wishful resins, because this is strictly used for trace materials, which I really don't think they'll ever make it more efficient to use these Tears of Dreams versus just the regular stuff. So, let's take a look. I think the goal is to get these up to 10, level up everything that isn't speed, because honestly, even the damage bonuses are really good. All right, let's do it. This is a priority, though. These two are priorities.
Just light everything up. Just light everything up. Just light everything up.
I'm thinking it's a good idea to level up the flat stats, actually. Because what does this level it up to? 4% on the ice damage. So 4%. Very... I wouldn't say minuscule, right? Because this can scale. But I feel like these are gonna do better. These are going to carry us a little bit more. We'll stop here for now. Ooh, we don't even have enough? Oh, we don't have enough of these. Now we do. Okay. Is there anything that's still requiring blue materials? Let's convert all this right now. Okay. Let's see. Attack by 8%, ice damage by 6 points. Do the attack one. How much does this need? 72? That's okay. Okay, we're gonna stick to this for now. We're just gonna farm for these regularly. Let's level this up because this one's basically free-ish. Okay, so this is gonna be the Herta for today. So the team that I am building around the Herta is going to be, let's actually remove everyone from the team. All right, so first slot is going to be mini Herta, because the Herta still scales off or allies that are able to hit like many enemies all at once, right? So the regular Herta is not going to be bad. We are going to have the Herta as our center DPS here.
Ta-da! How's this splitting magic?
I wonder.
Madame Herta is a peerless gem. Madame Herta is an unrivaled genius. Madame Herta is an inimitable beauty.
Ain't that just a tad bit narcissistic? Alright, cool. So that is double Herta, and then we are going to run Lingsha, because Lingsha is a healer that is able to hit all enemies at once, kind of like an Erudition character. Then we are also going to be running Robin in this team, because Robin is one of the best supports for basically any typical hyper carry DPS. Except we're going to swap that way. Alright. Now, I am a little bit scared of skill points on this team, because basically you want the Herta be using enhanced skill every single turn. That means sometimes you're not going to be able to use Lingsha's skill, sometimes you won't be able to use Herta's skill, but you do need 2 Erudition characters to max out on the Herta stuff. So, with that being said, let's hop into Amphorius. What I'm really scared of here is probably just knowing that some of the voice acting is going to be completely gone. But let's give it a try.
Please stand by, passengers. The navigation meeting will be starting soon.
He isn't joining us for the navigation meeting. He went to the party card arrest. Don't worry about him. An unexpected destination could be a great starting point for Sunday. That's unexpected, all right. But let's not do that.
Since everyone's here, Pom-Pom will start presenting our options. First up is the oceanic planet of Lushaka. Next, we have Melustanin, the agate world.
Given the Express's fuel situation, it's worth us thinking through our options carefully.
And finally, the most adventurous option, the eternal land, Amphorius.
Ah, a planet not recorded in the databank, and a world even Achivilius never set foot on. But if this trailblazing expedition works out, it could solve our fuel problem. Ah, jeez, stop messing around. We don't need a scrub. The Express is already spotlessly clean. Amphorius does have something to offer, unlike the other options. Plus, it's a completely unknown world. What better place to trailblaze?
I feel the same. While we know nothing about Amphorius, we know the other 2 worlds aren't exactly safe options. Anyway, if it's a risk we're taking, we might as well throw in some adventure for good measure.
Looks like Pom-Pom's voting plan won't be needed after all. It's official then. Our next stop is Amphorius.
Great! I'm looking forward to the conductor's jump announcement. I'll be in my room freeing up some memory on my camera. I'm going to have to snap tons of pretty pictures this time.
A world yet to be explored by the Trailblaze. No self-respecting nameless would turn that opportunity down. Absolutely. The Astral Express has always traveled along the silver rail laid down by Akivili. We don't normally get to venture into a world beyond the knowledge of the Trailblaze. But this time, we might just get the chance to add a brand new stop to the astral charts. I don't mind telling you, I'm a little excited. An unknown world brings unknown challenges. Exciting stuff.
That just sounds like we're about to uncover a lot of stuff, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff to do.
Oh, hey, great timing! I just turned on my camera and was looking through some old photos. Can I ask you something? What's your favorite part of a journey? From start to finish? Then let's go snap some photos as soon as we arrive in Amphorius. Anyway, enough chit-chat. I better pack some extra batteries in case we end up somewhere without power.
It feels so sad knowing that you can't hear Don, Hung, or Himiko's voice acting, but hopefully things go their way and hopefully they're able to return back to the scene.
Would you care for some jokes? A bit of laughter might be good for your health.
Looks like you've decided on your next stop. I see. Those who embark on a long journey simply need to set off. I look forward to the journey ahead.
Oh, is he gonna be surprised?
Ah, you're here. I hear the Nameless are going to Amphorius. A very wise decision. Truth be told, it's more of a personal request. Memo Keepers traverse the worlds only to collect precious memories. Have you heard that before? It's my duty to salvage unknown memories, and the Amphorius that has been revealed by the garden's mirror is like a treasure inside a display case. Dazzling, yet out of reach. I need a sharp nail to break through that glass, and that's where you come in. Only through trailblazing can we reach the heart of Amphorius, cut through the thick mist, and bring the world's memories back to light. I trust you won't disappoint me. I trust you won't disappoint me.
Attention passengers! The express is about to make the jump! Please be seated and hold on!
There's nothing there. Confusing. The answer lies hidden in the starry sky. Here it is, the isolated world that can only be seen through the garden's mirror. The eternal land, Amphorius. No one knows. That's what you're about to find out. As you can see, Amphorius is surrounded by a mass of chaotic matter that conceals it from the outside world. Nearly. Conventional interstellar travel can't detect its presence, let alone pass by or land on the planet. Yet the Garden caught a glimpse of this place, and along with it, discovered ever-shifting traces. I would even go as far as to say, eons themselves.
For a world to have nurtured such marvels, yet still remain unheard of throughout the cosmos? Now that is hard to fathom.
I can reveal the second. In fact, you've all seen it just now. It's the Remembrance.
I see. Then it makes sense that a messenger of the Garden would be capable of unveiling Amphorius for us. What about the final path?
Unfortunately, fate is keeping the third path a mystery. I don't know what it is either. Hidden beneath the brilliance of erudition and remembrance, yet possessing enough power to rival the other two paths. It could be the Equilibrium, the Enigmata, or perhaps the Permanence. I have no clue at all. This white ribbon of light encircling Amphorius might very well be a product of the three interwoven paths. Only when Path Striders of the Trailblaze enter the center of the vortex will its true nature be revealed.
Wait, I think we might be missing someone. Very funny. But seriously, where's March 7th?
Something tells me this is going to be a big March 7th, like, character reveal expedition.
Let me know if there's anything I can assist with. I'll do whatever I can. Let me know if there's anything.
I was just wondering if he'd say something different.
Something feels off. Please, all of you go ahead without me. I'll join you later.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's wrong. I just feel really weak after the warp. I doubt it. Pretty girls aren't supposed to get sick.
Gladly. I'm seeing March 7th hit by a sudden bout of weakness in her memories, as if something was weighing on her. The onset of it far too quick to be any kind of sickness.
Perhaps it's the effect of some external stimulus?
Oh, why is everyone here? I should have cleaned my room.
I invited Sunday to help with the diagnosis. He grew up in a star system rich in memoria. When it comes to mental healing, he's quite the specialist.
You've all been to Penacony before. I presume you are aware of how some might find themselves in a synesthesia dreamscape after warping to Asdana. I'm guessing this is something similar. Miss March appears to be affected by a certain external stimulus. Perhaps a path, an eon, or even Amphorius itself.
I agree. That's likely the case.
Why is she the only one affected?
There's no way to tell at this point. It could just be a matter of time before everyone feels unwell. Before we identify the cause, my suggestion is for Miss March to avoid venturing anywhere near Amphorius.
It's okay, Himeko. I'll be good on my own. Go ahead, guys. I'll catch up once I feel better. Here. Take my camera along. I was planning to take photos when we got there, but looks like you'll have to help me with that now. I know I can always count on you. Yeah, you guys go on ahead. Don't worry about me. I'll be back to being my hyperactive and adorable self by the next time you see me. Now, don't forget about those photos, okay? I'll be checking the camera. Oh, I almost forgot. I was looking at the photos from before when I realized something. When we were on Eurillo 6, the Cienjo and Penacony, the first local we met in each of those worlds all harbored their own deep secret. I'm sure it'll be the same on Amphorius. I can't join you guys this time, but make sure to always look out for one another, okay?
That was incredibly ominous. Alright, now we gotta pay attention to the first person we see when we land.
Do you think March 7th's past could be connected to Amphorius? So we're staying behind to take care of the grown-up stuff.
Someone should be taking care of March 7th, too. I can do that.
I'm fine with any arrangement you have for me.
Oh, I almost forgot. The first local week, I can't join.
Where's the conductor? Also, I didn't do this over a stream, but this is crazy to think that this is one person's room. Like 8 rooms all at once. They're at the opposite end? I was wondering if the messenger still shows up. Alright, I guess I don't know where the conductor is, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and move on with the story. Because I actually gotta head off soon. And it would be kind of weird if we didn't even end up in Amphorius at all.
Yes, seeing how this is going to be a perilous expedition, Pom-Pom and the Navigator have come together to prepare a special trailblazing gift for you. Your very own car! The car you're getting has its own thrusters, so just buckle up, and it'll take you into Amphorius and land you somewhere safe. Only in extenuating circumstances. Don't go thinking you can detach cars from the Express every which way, alright? Get going whenever you're ready. Pom-Pom can't wait to hear about your exciting discoveries.
Before we go, I'm just gonna call my shot right now. The fact that the Express can break up into multiple cars means that there is a potential Voltron Megazord-like experience coming in the future. Calling it now. Alright, let's go to Amphorius.
Car ready for detachment. 3, 2, 1.
Alright, let's start by saying that was a crazy start to this story. So, we literally got shot out of the sky in our Trailblaze car, which is so wild because that is the same... Wait a minute, how big is the Trailblaze car? Where is it even? I swear we were able to see more of it like a second ago. Well, it's over there in that corner, burning. But that's so wild to think about that we got hit with a spear or something so strong that it knocked the car out of the sky when that same car was attached to a train that was attacking, like, Sunday in his transformed state. Like, how strong is the spear or how weak is the car is the next question. Because if we could just get shot out of the sky like that, imagine getting, like, hit with that in the middle of space. We gotta remember that we are the aliens on this planet. Also, does anyone have, like, kind of God of War vibes coming from this? Like, right down to the creepy broken city that is, like, beautiful when restored by what I'm guessing is remembrance? I'm guessing it's not friendly. These look like Aglia's statue. What, nobody wants to comment on how the statues moved?
Hello? Snap out of it and click the shutter already.
Let's make sure.
May the foul stench dissipate quickly.
Interesting. Okay, so there's like an additional layer of armor on top of like toughness. And I'm guessing this is where true damage really comes into play, where you can pierce through this like extra
Getting
layer.
tired already? You require invigoration.
Alright, since none of them are weak to fire.
Resonate all together.
I don't have time for games. Do you know who I...
This big diamond! It's all yours!
Honestly, Serval might not be such a bad idea as our second year edition character here, considering that if they're not weak to ice, they're weak to lightning.
Expand your thinking.
Time to twirl!
Curiosity is a dangerous thing, you know. Endless riddles. Nothing but a boy. Open sesame. Glimpse the unknown.
Allow me to purge the root of the problem. Time to cleanse the filth.
Let's at least get Fuyuin out.
Expand your thinking.
Time to twirl! The truth. Everything in this world is bleeding. Honored to meet me. May the foul stench just... Yeah.
I don't have time for games. Open sesame.
Look out! Got something interesting? I bear no harm. I just want everyone to be safe. Roaming around a place like the Abyss with weapons in tow is a show of provocation. Those soldiers are minions of the Strife Titan. They're not known to stop until all invaders fall under their feet. If you continue brandishing your weapons, you won't only be putting yourselves in the crossfire. Their looming blades will come down on the heads of the innocent. It's difficult to tell if you're friend or foe when you appear out of thin air. Even without your weapons, a great power still lurks within you. I could be putting myself in harm's way for all I know. I'd be unwise not to take precautions. So, care to share the reason for dropping in on us? Visitors from above?
Fine on. Look what you did again! Taking off only to get yourself into trouble? You even ruined his weapon! I've really gone and done it. This is no way to be treating strangers!
I was just trying to fix our problem in the safest way possible.
How is this safe? Hello, friendly strangers. Let's all simmer down and cool our jets. We're all humans here. No need for things to get so heated. Snowy's just worried you're baddies from above, but we know you two are nothing of the sort. Oh, right, you don't know us yet. We are Treeby from Yanisopolis, and this is Snowy. Hurry up and apologize to them.
All right, if you say so, Treeby. I apologize for my earlier behavior. I was overly wary because both of you landed in this tumultuous region. Put me on high alert. Not from above the sky, but beyond it.
Wow, that's something else altogether. You're lucky you met us, then.
She means you're lucky because we won't hurt you, but the same can't be said for others. Let's talk somewhere else. You've seen it firsthand, it isn't safe out here. As you saw, there are still many refugees who haven't been freed in the temple. We're here to rescue and escort them to the holy city, Akima. They're the reason I had to be absolutely sure you were not here with ill intent, and why I wanted you to put away your weapons. If something were to occur, they would have no way of protecting themselves. I'm Finan, from Ides Elysiae. Sorry if I offended you just now. Well, how about that? Perhaps it's fate. Friction really does spark friendships, huh? Here, you can have your weapon back.
And here's your spear. Don't worry, this is entirely on Snowy. I'll make sure he fixes it for you.
It seems I'll have to treat Cartonis to a couple of drinks again.
Okay, off to kind of a rocky start for the Astral Express here. So Danhong's spear, which is literally like basically a legendary artifact forged by Blade, if I remember this story correctly, just got broken. So now Danhong's got some splaining to do. And they stole our baseball bat. For a quick second, I was wondering what it would have been like if they stole our baseball bat and just threw it over the edge of this cliff for us to never find it again. That would have been really sad.
Virtus, you acted on your own to ask the Chrysos heirs for help? To bring us into their so-called holy city, no less. We are priests of Yanis, born as footless birds. How could we possibly endure being confined to one place?
We've lost far too many to Nikador's forces, Mr. Noldus. I only want for everyone to settle down somewhere safe and to be able to sleep soundly.
Lose your faith, and you lose everything. Do you seriously think you can seek shelter in Akima? Nowhere is safe with the end times looming. I've said my piece. Leave if that's what you want. Everyone else is staying in this temple, where we enjoy the protection of Yanis, the Gate of Infinity.
Don't make this decision in haste, sir.
I appreciate the concern, esteemed Chrysos heir. But please, respect that we have the right to choose our own fate.
I'm sorry you had to see that, esteemed Chrysos heir. These two with you are...
Travelers from afar. They're also headed for the Holy City. If memory serves me right, you are... Virtus? Please, you may call me Finan. What was that just now?
It's an honor you remember me, Finan. We are priests from Yanisopolis. Armies of the Strife Titan destroyed our home, forcing us to flee across many lands until we arrived here. A few days ago, I watched another companion fall to those monsters, and I was shattered. I offered a prayer to Akima, thinking the answer would take time, at least enough for me to convince Mr. Noldus. I didn't expect your arrival to be so swift. Excuse me, sir. Everyone knows about the prophecy. How is it that you...
Virtus, right now, we must focus on convincing Mr. Noldus to return. The Abyss is swarming with fierce enemies, and they have no way to defend themselves, leaving them vulnerable to all kinds of danger. My friends, I have a rather bold request. The two of you are quite capable. Might I trouble you to fetch Mr. Noldus? Treeby will join you. She can also answer any questions you may have. You two are truly honorable. I'll stay behind to guard Virtus and the rest. Go quickly and come back safe.
Alright, y'all. Well, with that being said, this seems like a good stopping point before we continue on with our journey. Again, kind of a rocky start for the Astral Express on Amphorius, but I have a feeling this is going to be a good story, which is really hard for me to say because I loved Penacony, so we're going to see how this plays out. Let's see what Fineland has to say first.
Don't worry about me. I'll stay behind to protect those in the area. Please, make haste.
Also, something about this seems very suspicious that, like, the color design is very similar to Sunday. So if we take Sunday, I don't know if this was just intentional. That it's literally the same color scheme of blue, gold, and white. Even, like, Sunday's halo looks like this dude's necklace or whatever it is. With all, like, the spikes and stuff. So, I'm not sure if Sunday's gonna be tied more into this than what we expect. But, like, literally from the back, these characters look like they could be wearing, like, almost the same thing. So, really curious to see how this plays out. And then, actually, if we take a look at Himiko, too. So, kind of not exactly the same. But they do the whole Himiko one shoulder draped over kind of like cloak cape type thing. So, kind of curious to see how this all plays out, how this plays out with our teams, Himiko, Sunday, March, everyone. But that will be the stream for now. Let's go ahead and put Robin here so that way we can start playing with this team next time. Alright, so the next time I'll be streaming will likely be this Saturday, if not Sunday. I'm really excited to see what Amphorius has in store for us. Again, this is the Hertha. This was really more so a stream. Oh. We're going to pause and save. Oh, that's right, because we don't have Touch with the Astral Express quite yet, so it's like kind of a side quest that we're putting on hold. But yeah, so that is... Where's the Hertha? So that is going to be the stream for today. Again, I really wanted to pull for the Hertha because basically she's got a Keyblade. And yeah, that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'd be happy to answer when I have the time. I will advertise the Discord more when I really have more content to talk about as we pick up more of a following, but I might start dedicating more time to Star Rail since it's been more than 1,000 days since the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 came out, so I really don't know how much traction there is on Kingdom Hearts news. Maybe we will start streaming Kingdom Hearts. I really want to play the Japanese version, which I picked up not too long ago. But with that being said, that is all for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, until next time, take it easy.